like, okay, cool. We're gonna do very good in laning phase. I want to see Ultra Prime with some early advantages. Maybe if they can get the first 2 dragons, I think Dragon Stacking kind of gives them.
Looking for our first little gank, and Bessa is here at least to say hello, or maybe try to get a little bit of gank here. Looking for an angle to go in. The fight isn't going to stop. Nico trying to buy a little bit of time there. Looks like we're trying to find something to happen, and we get melted right before our eyes as we get a 1-for-1 trade. That's a little unfortunate, spending all that resources just to trade evenly.
And the wave's going to be able to hit under the turret. Thankfully for FRK, SMLZ will still be able to pick up this wave. Don't think Baya is going to have too much to say, but actually, there's no combat summoner spell here, so SMLZ just goes down. It is traded for the barrier.
Try and test my mic. Can you hear me now, Alk? Are we good to go? We're looking for our first little root there on Raijin. Taking a bit of damage here as we go in, and Wink does eventually get blinked out on the other side. I'm going to try to lock them down on SMLZ, getting at least absolute shenanigans on our end, sort of here on the background. Oh, Saber trying to go in, looking for the damage here on Welk as we do layer the stuns there, and Bessa there for the cover as the curtain call opens up, looking for the damage, but that is going to be exposed Jin, as now he's going to get locked down. The Zen go in and Hacker out for blood as more and more of Up go down, unfortunately, for their side, leaving Saber inside. Fall squarely in the hands of Up, getting their hands on a couple of more objectives as this goes further.
That they're missing. So really interested to see how much more they can kind of put emphasis on this objective now. SMLZ's actually moved over.
Chains of Corruption coming down. Curtain call gonna open up, looking for a couple of shots there. Nico Clone will be able to grab some of it, but Saber goes in, picks up a kill, able to get the score. He's wasted a lot of time, and that's such a precious resource, but it may not matter if this Rumble just stays here. We've just left him absolutely isolated, trying to look for an angle here on SMLZ. Honestly, getting this trade might be his best bet if he could just close the distance a little more. Just please, 1 or 2 more AA shots, but it's so hard. We do pick up the kill on Varus and go down, and honestly, we take those. That's going to be some nice shutdown gold for Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, just not getting any of those turret plates, so important. Cryan getting smacked in mid lane. They're trying to make this play onto Fearness now. He will have the Scion passive. So,
passive isn't going to get popped as we go down. Score going to get a little bit delayed because technically Scion's not dead yet, but that'll happen here any moment. And this should be some nice plates for them to turn around. Up really looking to grab a lot of these macro objectives and get their hands on that. But we're going to answer it immediately with the exact same thing in the top lane. Always love to see very solid macro plays. Always love to see this constant trading back and forward. And this is turning out to be way more even than I had originally expected it, Alk.
Well, yeah, I mean, FRK gave us some of the more competitive games from the streamer teams, even if it was ZSM who actually won in a game in their group. It was like, okay, FRK, they got really close in yesterday's series.
If we can, but it looks like Zen's going to get spotted, so this could very easily turn into a lot of different just back and forward ganks. Looking for the damage, curtain call got to open up there, just 1 shot lands, 2, looking for the 3rd, looking for the 4th, 3rd does miss, 4th misses as well, as Hacker gonna worry about the Mbessa. We're out for lunch, we're out for blood, as the equalizer comes down, and we absolutely melt and fall to pieces. SMLZ somehow able to walk away from that wreckage, and what a weird 2-for-1 trade.
Great punish coming in from Ultra Prime. There's just no reason a Nico should be that far up. They know where the rest of their team is.
SMLZ now sitting at 3-1. We're getting a comfortable little bit of gold just over time and not going down whatsoever.
Got 2 items spiking for very important champions right now. We're trying to make a play on SMLZ. Yeah, he has no flash, so why not? Let's just go for it. They find that pick. It is a trade. Saber ends up going down.
It's going to be for them.
Well, we just saw right there, the flash coming in from Hacker means that Saber has to move out of the way. They also dropped the Herald, so talk about mid-priority. Means now that they grab the mid-tier 1 as well. Fearness right now, he can't really do all that much, but he's playing
pushed out of this. It might just be wise to Scion going in, looking for the angle. Fortunately, not able to find it. We are going to be able to pick up the Jin. There's going to be a first flash there, trying to lock him down, but we're going to turn it in immediately and should be a dead Jin. Yes, indeed. He's going to go down. That's really unfortunate, that immobility, even with the flash. Really
hesitancy from these 2 teams, because when Hacker went forward in the very first part of this engagement, it was like, okay, we were able to get out the Mikhails from Xiaoxia. That's good enough. Let's move back into mid lane. We actually saw FRK do that. Ultra Prime then give up the Otacon. This is going to be much needed experience for this team. I mean, just Syndra alone, if she gets a level, that's getting closer to her getting that execute and that mini Rabadons that's attached to her passive.
Santacon going down as Saber takes a massive amount of damage and actually goes down.
Call to land, that'll turn into a mid-tier 1 here for Ultra Prime. They're going to be able to walk back up into this wave. Finally, them being able to take this turret. Please, someone. All right, Baya would have preferred you help their mid laner there.
We know the Drake is up, but if we just buy a little time here and don't take the objective on the other end, the Drake will just fall in the background here to Zen, which is exactly the plan it looks like. Tower goes down because it looks like LeBlanc Saber is absolutely not involved in this fight, so this is a 3v4, which can quickly shift to the other side. Drake's sitting about half HP, and this is exactly what they want. They don't want this fight to actually kick off. Unfortunately, trying to lock them down. SMLZ gonna get caught there, gonna get taken down by Mbessa. We played a little bit too close to the sun, and we indeed did get burnt, so that's gonna be really unfortunate. Drake does fall down.
SMLZ, he's kind of the only person that I'm a little bit worried about, but FRK are also just not in the pit.
Ooh, Change of Corruption's gonna lock down. Pop Blossom, unfortunately, not able to hit the Saber there. Nashor getting so close to going down. Look at the damage. There it is, Mbessa in. But now we gotta get away with the prize. It doesn't matter if you get your hands on this Baron, if you get taken down for your trouble, as Hacker gets one, looking for the second one, trying to mitigate some of the advantages that Up had got their hands.
Another Dragon going over to FRK, and Ultra Prime are slowly being choked out of this one. How do we ever kill this tank? And that is something we asked from them in draft. You have a 4-item Jhin, kind of has to be your hyper carry in this instance with the amount of AD, just raw attack damage this champion gets access to. I have a Fiendish Codex that says to me that we're going for the Crypt Bloom, so this Scion's going to even be more impossible. And just look at the boots, right? Like, 3 out of the 4 members, or 3 out of the 5 members here, they have Merc Treads. That's Leo down. Okay, so I don't think that's game, but if they find another pick, we've got Dragon spawning in a minute 30. Parts of this composition right now, whether that's the Nico or it's one of these 2 carries, but they both have spell shields.
There it is. We go down by a good chunk as the Equalizer comes down crying, goes down about half HP with Redemption coming in for a little bit of much-needed relief as Syndra stops and engage. The curtain call finally does open up, so we're looking to start a fight here, looking for a statement, but once again, we're having a hard time locking down this Scion, able to take so many shots immediately to the face, and FRK, despite things getting a little bit sweaty for them, just is allowed to kind of walk away. So even if we go and try to take this Drake, the response is going to be able to get our hands on a Baron. We did get a reset there on Cryon, able to pop back with a TP as Nashor sits about half HP. We no longer have Equalizer to pop down in the Baron pit, so that's going to be a tool out of their wheelhouse. We did pick up Baron, but can we get out of it? That's going to be the important thing. Yeah, I think that's a very clear possibility. It looks like we're getting a bit more use out of the Baron. Equalizer coming down, only able to do a little bit of damage, is able to buy time here to try to lock down the Varus, but once again, we're absolutely layering our defense, keeping our squishies alive. I like this coordination here for FRK. Curtain call is going to open up, but once again, Jin's going to be really exposed as he has to cancel it and walk away as the T3 goes down. And Bessa looking to try to make things something happen, but immediately going to run directly into Syndra. Going to get knocked back as we're looking to take down that inhib. Saber still trying to make something happen, but just really
on the bottom side of the map and get themselves ready for what is a Dragon number 7 here in 3 minutes.
T2 down, moving into the T3. No reason to not continue our siege. Another Equalizer comes down, and I feel like maybe we're using this a little bit too liberally. That's a very, very powerful ability, and I don't think you're going to be able to lock anyone down too much. Fearness just able to absolutely tank so much as the Pop Blossom comes in, able to at least get some, but unfortunately I don't think they're going to be able to turn it around as Saber goes in and is able to snipe at least someone. Curtain call opens up. Is Up going to turn this around? This is their best opportunity, but Fearness able to take all of those shots immediately to the back, going down about half HP. This Scion is getting chopped down as we look for kill after kill. Cryon able to do so much for their team, but this can still be anyone's game as we pop a little bit back up and another one goes down. Up absolutely wrecking the competition. We stepped a little bit too far forward and we're looking for the full wipe. Saber really wants this kill on Hacker if we're able to lock him down, and yes indeed, we're able to get the entire team for FRK.
Finally, this LeBlanc pays off. We get a team fight where she's able to weave in and out of this. Right now, you can see that FRK are moving in. Hacker is on vision from this brush right now. He's going to jump over the wall, and he is separated. Saber on one side of the map. There's the Equalizer doing nothing here. Wink on to 3.
Awesome as 3 as we lock him down. Curtain call opens up. Fairness trying to find an angle, knocking up the Jhin, but FRK taking so much damage as Mbessa goes in, looking to lock down 1, 2. We're only going to fall 2 pieces, unfortunately for him, as Hacker goes in, and now going to get taken down. Up looking in top form, turning this game around. Game number 1 might just fall to Up.
There is the soul. Leo push a little bit more. Scion is still up here. he will recall. He'll be able to answer on this inhibitor 20 seconds before Cryan is available and respawns, and there's a Baron now spawning. Ultra Prime, but it's split up the front and the back lines here, providing so much for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, and Bessa going in there for the 1-2 punch after taking the Drake, just absolutely rocked the competition. You know, just Bessa doing Bessa things. To actually get to see a fight involving the Elder, you know, coming up. It's 3 minutes, and I think it's absolutely possible. However, Baron should be able to help us crack open the base, at least hopefully. And we might end up in a little bit awkward stage. So, you know, I guess there's a chance we couldn't, but I don't think you can play too heavily handed into FRK, because FRK still has the potential to turn this around for a lot of different reasons, but we got to find the right opportunity. Curtain call going to open up once again, signaling a little bit of fight here as we're going to try to go in, but unfortunately, we're just not feeling the confidence for that one. Trying to crack open the base still, that's going to be a little bit more important. Saber able to do that at least inside the mid lane now, chomping at the inhib, and we should be able to take on this T3 in bot lane now.
They're getting picked apart at the seams. No ability to clear waves as easily as their opponents if they had the on-hit Varus, but Cryan's getting outranged. Saber goes in, takes half of his HP. Now multiple waves crashing. Another double-stacked cannon minion wave on bottom lane. You have this wave in mid lane. 40 seconds left on this Baron. This has to be the time where Ultra Prime look for the win. They do not want to have a chance where they're playing around an Elder.
The big thing I'm worried about, though, is we have a lot of ultimates down. Sure, there's a couple more coming back up. We've also got a good chunk of flashes down for Ultra Prime, so if they buy themselves a little more time, this could turn in their advantage. Equalizer is indeed up. It's going to get deployed down on Cryan, locking it down on the other side. Pop Blossom going in, hitting absolutely no one, unfortunately, for them. However, we are able to pick up one kill as Saber once again goes in, grabs another one, and Bessa doing the exact same thing, locking down the other side as turret after turret's going to fall down, and somehow Up is making a comeback in game number 1 and taking the entire enchilada, because this is going to be a dead Nexus, Alk.
They lost the bottom lane. They were doing well in